kind of started like in the middle of our conversation. Well, what was the thought you were getting across?
Right, with how Birds of Prey was marketed. Well, obviously Harley was very popular.
Spoilers or no spoilers? Are we doing spoilers or no spoilers? I guess it's not too much to spoil, right?
Not too much.
I feel like we could do spoilers and it wouldn't really be.
I mean, not really. The biggest spoiler, I mean, just like I guess what happened to Black Mask.
If we mention spoilers, we mention, but it's really not much to spoil in this movie. But
no.
Continue.
With how Birds of Prey was marketed, clearly, like after watching the movie, it wasn't really. It was more like a setup to a Birds of Prey movie.
It's barely a Birds of Prey movie. And then most of the we have kind of Black Canary. So this will be one of the spoilers. Black Canary, the original Black Canary is dead, and this is her daughter.
Right.
And then we have, the Huntress, the first Huntress, and then no Batgirl. No Barbara Gordon, but there is Cassandra Cain, who grows up to be Batgirl eventually.
If they go that route.
So it's kind of the Birds of Prey. Sometimes Catwoman may not be with the Birds of Prey. It's kind of the Birds of Prey. Yeah. It's really more so like Harley Quinn meets people who will eventually become the Birds of Prey. Oh, and there's the cop lady, who was a nice addition to the movie. That's who that was.
Yeah, she was created in the animated series along with Harley, but definitely she's popular over the years.
Not her.
Like next to like Gordon or like.
Now here's the question: Is she the Latina girlfriend chick from White Man Can't Jump?
Possibly. It's been a while.
It was just the way she talked. I swear, I was like, not the chick from White Man Can't Jump.
It could be her.
So one thing this movie establishes, if you go back to Batman v Superman, where Bruce is lying about, he say, it's been 20 years at Gotham. He asks Alfred, well, how many good guys are left and how many stayed that way? Well, there you go. Apparently, so we confirmed, Black Canary was one of those good guys who are no longer around. They didn't show us that.
No.
Did you need to see that?
Honestly, no, I didn't need to see it. It's like just some dialogue exchange. It's kind of just like you can kind of make it up, and it's what you don't see.
It's what you don't see, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting, like how we was mentioned earlier. This is a DC world that's kind of fragmented at the time when the heroes show up and appear. As in, this is the first Flash, the first Superman. This is the first Huntress. This is the first time you get certain characters like this. But in the meanwhile, one of them has been there forever. Batman's been there for 20 years. I'm assuming Green Arrow's there around and Black Canary's there. So it makes you wonder how many heroes were there. How many heroes are just... Shazam is just showing up. Cyborg is just showing up. Mm-hmm. So it makes you wonder who was there, who wasn't there. Robin is dead, obviously. It's just it's interesting how the ages of some of these heroes, you have Batman, who's so much older than Flash, and this and that. And it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like,
it is.
We're on Black Canary V2. There was a whole other Black Canary. We didn't get to see anything of her, because Batman v Superman started 20 years into this superhero world. Well, even longer if you count the Wonder Woman movies.
Right.
What do you think of that dynamic?
It definitely expands the DC world that they have. Hopefully they don't just abandon it, because they keep talking about they're gonna reboot. I hope they don't. I kind of just.
Well, they could play interesting things like Aquaman. Like, some heroes can kind of just show up and you can tell some stories. Well, I've always been here and I kind of went away and now I'm coming back. Or now this is my first time. Like Aquaman has always been around, but now he's deciding to be Aquaman.
Right.
It is one of those interesting things where they're still, I guess, going along with the dawn of heroes that they were leading up to.
Superman being a beacon.
Superman being a beacon, and heroes coming all out. But I guess Harley was the beacon in this movie.
For the Birds of Prey.
Do you want to speak about Harley's importance in this film?
I don't know if the importance is the right word. Definitely, it's just like stuff just kind of happened that revolved around Harley, whether it was directly or indirectly.
She was just kind of thrown in the middle.
Yeah.
Kind of, but
to be honest, that's how the movie was like when they announced the movie. It was the same thing. That's just kind of thrown in there. You're just like, okay, it's a Harley Quinn movie, but it's just Birds of Prey. Like, oh, okay.
It feels like a movie where Harley Quinn is there and stuff is happening, and then the Birds of Prey eventually come together and stop it, but Harley Quinn just happens to be there at the same time.
Right. I guess you could make the argument she made the Birds of Prey, but
now let's talk about that. That was actually something I was quite afraid of, and the movie ended up doing something I hope it ended up not doing, was Harley would completely overshadow the Birds of Prey. Which I'm not okay. I'm not like Canary is dope. You actually see Canary more than any of the other ones, and then Huntress, you'll probably see her the less. But
Third act was
she probably walked
her.
away as my favorite character in this film.
The third act, once she came in like in the third act, like prominently.
Once Huntress got to be a character,
she took over.
She took over.
At least I feel that
and
way.
this is the Harley family. So, like Huntress came out. There were several times where I just kind of like her dialogue. I threw my hands up like, what the fuck? And not like in a negative way, just like a what the fuck is
Just randomness.
That's something you do have to experience.
Unpredictability. That's what I say about like this movie. It's like you think it's going one way, they just throw you for a loop.
Now, I will say I noticed a lot of what I would call Power Rangering, as in like where like you would have Harley or Canary or Huntress, they'll be fighting a group of people, and like it's not too bad. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be, but there's a lot of guys standing around waiting to get hit. Where it doesn't really, the combat is almost too clean, too crisp. It's well choreographed. I would say that. I heard they got the guy who did John Wick to help choreograph it.
Oh, okay. Well,
that would explain part of why. So it was well choreographed, but it almost seemed too clean. Very few times then did Harley, Canary, or Huntress really seem. It was pretty much, they got this. They're gonna whip everybody's ass. Which is obviously, yeah. But
hey, at least it wasn't just like their bare hands. They usually had like a melee weapon nearby.
Right. So at least for Harley, we know why Harley is the way she is. She's with Joker. She's insane. She's a gymnast. Ivy changed her body.
I actually like that. You got to see more of that than in I think Suicide Squad. Her using her acrobatics in fights.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as for Huntress, they explain her training, this and that. Canary was the only one. I was like, why is she whooping ass?
That we just didn't see. We're just assuming, because since this is like you said, minor spoilers. This is the second Black Canary. We might assume her mom
probably
trained her, but we don't
that's
see that.
Complete assumption.
That's complete assumption.
Yeah. That's not I'm just saying, it's like, when Canary whoops ass, you just kind of feel like, why is Canary whooping ass?
But from what's presented,
we have no idea why she can whip ass. A little stingy with the Canary scream.
Yeah, one time. I guess. Spoiler.
What? Twice?
I guess.
Technically.
Twice if you want to count, towards the beginning of the movie.
Technically, would you be interested in Birds of Prey 2 without Harley?
Yeah.
Who would they need to bring in?
I definitely say bring in Batgirl.
Bring in Batgirl for sure. Barbara Gordon, Batgirl.
Either or, like if they bring
have Cassandra came
back, like they age her up or something.
Little Batgirl. Little Batgirl. Teenage Batgirl. That could work.
I mean, I would like for them to.
Well, here's the thing. Harley took her towards the end of the movie. Sorry, but like I was thinking that could just lead to Harley getting it over her head, and then Batman was like, "Who's the girl, Quinn?" And then Bruce ended up adopting her, and then that can lead to
That would be ideal, I think.
Yeah.
Though I don't know if that's gonna happen, because I mean, as far as like how the DC movie has been set up, we don't know if the League of Assassins are there.
Right. Right.
League of Shadows or what have you.
That would be the most ideal.
Right,
with the league
because
thing.
Based off the comics.
Because she is an orphan, and
she's an orphan, right? But on the comics, Lady Shiva's her the mom.
Right.
So
they can get tied back around somehow.
They could find a way to bring her in at some point, like in a Birds of Prey 2 if they wanted to.
I would say really funny movie. I'm in a really bad mood, so I watched almost this entire movie outside of a few scenes with her just without laughing, but I enjoyed what I was looking at. It's just I kind of had a hard time recently, but it was an enjoyable movie.
It wasn't as much cringe.
It wasn't as cringe or as woke as I originally thought it would be. It is kind of absurd with how evil, like in how I would say like how sexist the men are. It's a little like
in your face.
Like there's several times I would just see stuff. I just like there's scenes where like Harley's about to get raped because she's passed out drunk or something like that, and I'm just like, don't get drunk in public. But then I'll be the bad guy for saying that. Like you can't just trust the world. You're not about to. But it feels like that's bad decision making, and you're around bad people. Don't get drunk in public. But it's just stuff like that. It just wasn't bad to watch again. Is it a watch again for you?
I definitely. It's a watch again for me. Just now I know what I'm getting into. I can definitely enjoy it more the second time around.
It's funny. Surprisingly, it is paced well, even though the story is not told in any cohesive order. It's still paced well. The story's told because Harley's telling the story and it's really fucking jumbled. but it still paced well. You don't get bored during the movie.
No.
You do kind of care about the characters. For a villain that for a movie that features the villain so much, you barely give a shit about the villain by the time you watch it. Even if you go into it as a fan that's like honest, the movie doesn't do much to make you like him.
No, he's just meant to be an unlikable person. No, like his personality, like he's kind of like, you know, flamboyant. I guess that's the appropriate word, right? Flamboyant.
Yeah, he's like a JoJo's character. No, that's just a little. I like JoJo's, but like I said, there are times when it does feel like there's the antagonists are kind of standing around waiting to be hit. But I will say, but that's only because the it's kind of like when people, if you watch you know, episode 3 of Star Wars, and some people say, well, the duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan seems a little too clean. It is really tightly choreographed,
right?
And I kind of get that feeling from this movie sometimes. It's just like that's. I feel like you practice the hell out of that, you know. You know, it's one of those things. But that's not a bad thing, though.
No,
you know?
I wouldn't say that's a bad thing.
Overall, I'd say it's not just. I mean, it's a pretty damn good movie.
Yeah,
I like it. Now, I'm not sure how much of my bias is speaking here. That's why I always have, you know, my illustrious partner here to give his opinions. But this is a Harley Quinn movie, and I'm not fit to rate it. So, do you want to give it a rating?
Like out of 10, or like by letters, or either or.
Either.
I give it like an.
Or give it a summary, like in a sentence. Like it's good, but
it's good. Not as much action as you would think, but it's still good. When there is action, it's not like Wonder Woman slow.
The car chase towards the end was really good.
That was very nicely done. Yeah. I like that actually.
Creatively done.
Creatively done, because I didn't expect, you know, the skates. Like the skates come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roller derby.
Derby.
Is it girl power? Yes. Is that a bad thing? No. Girl power is not a bad thing. It's just
it's the way they do it.
It's the girls rule boys drill aspect of it, which this movie doesn't actually have a lot of.
It's not preachy. Like you could try to, you know, if it's really nitpicky, yeah, you can make it. Oh, it is preachy. Like, but I feel like
a few times I was like, okay, you know, but did it take me out? Did it make me go, oh, this is terrible, I don't want to watch this? No,
it was still enjoyable. Like when it was funny.
And as I assume off rip, I knew Margot Robbie would kill it. Fantastic job. I don't want to say she stole the movie because it's literally her movie, even though it's not supposed to be her movie. So I'm going to say Huntress stole the movie, even though it's supposed to be her. You know,
Ramona Flowers.
Any touching thoughts? Just thumbs up. Go see it.
Oh, definitely go see it. I mean, if you're on the fence, just go see it, even if it's like a matinee or something.
Don't let people scare you away. It's not like the attack of the women good, men bad. Yeah, that's
Orange Man bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's none of that. It's not that. Like I said, some of the guys are hyperbolically sexist and stuff in the way they treat women, but these are also guys who push drugs and kill children. So it's like, it's not so much that they're sexist. It's just like they're just assholes in general.
It's like they're over the top. I don't know if it's because they know they're in a comic book.
It kind of feel like everybody knew. There was one instance where Harley broke the fourth wall, which I wasn't a very big fan of.
No, but I don't know. That's just.
It happened once though, but it was. I mean, like, cause there's narrating a movie, and then there's breaking the fourth wall in the movie. You know, it was
like one more. It's not like Deadpool, like bad, where it's like, you know, he's just literally talking to the audience the whole movie. It's not like that.
Yeah, because Deadpool doesn't narrate this movie. He talks to you during the movie. Right. For the most movie, Harley's narrating movie, but it's literally one scene where she legit looks at the camera and talks, and I'm just like, huh? You know, so that's it. Look, I'm a huge Harley Quinn fan. You probably don't want to trust my opinion. You shouldn't. But just
go see it.
Go see it. Go see it for Harley. Go see it for Harley, huh?
Yes.
See it for Harley. All right, guys. Hell Hydra.